is going on, everyone's? We are here. We are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I am your host, once again, Brandon D. Stocker.
And I am Camille A. Stocker.
And together, as a collective, we are Stocker Family Values. Yes, indeed. So, let's go ahead and get into this episode with What You Know Good. So, what you know good, baby?
Guess what today is? It's Martin Luther King's, it's not his birthday. It's his day. It's his national day. It's the day that we celebrate. His birthday was on Saturday, though. January 15th. He would have been 93 years old.
Shout out to Martin Luther King.
So, as you know, he has a national holiday. We celebrate it, I believe, every third Monday of every year. So happy birthday, happy Martin Luther King Day to y'all.
All that.
Next up on the docket, Ida B. Wells will be a Barbie collectible. Ida B. Wells, we'll talk about her a little bit, but she's gonna be a Barbie doll. Mattel, Barbie, they're making her into a Barbie. Now, you might be looking at me like, why the hell are you excited? Because I kind of started collecting Barbies.
Not just any Barbies, though.
No. So I own Maya Angelou and Jean-Michel Basquiat. But yes, I own those, and then I'm looking into Rosa Parks, and now that matter of fact, she comes out today. So on the 17th, she comes out. I want it. I'm gonna be stalking, and I'm gonna get it. If I'm gonna get it, because I want it. I think it would be a cool collectible. Next up, Maya Angelou will be the first Black woman on the quarter. We're gonna talk more about that later too. Next up. Emmett Till and Mother Mamie Till awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. Shoot.
Yes.
What's this word?
Goodness.
Posthumously. The Senate passed the bill. Homie Plessy from Plessy versus Ferguson, posthumously pardoned by Louisiana governor, and that happened on January 5th, 2022. So, there's a reason why I brought all that up, but that is it for What You Know Good.
Yes, indeed. So, we're going to keep this thing on and rolling. Y'all know how we do. So, let's go ahead and get into the topic for today. So, baby, let the people know what we're talking about today.
Better now than never.
Huh.
And that's very sarcastic, so don't take that seriously.
Yeah. So, a little backstory.
All right. So, I did some research. I'm so proud, like, the creator.
Hold on. We're going to give you an applause for your. All right. That's enough of that.
Why I'm just, like, so proud is because normally when I come up with topics, it's just off the fly, and I do a little bit of research, and then I just go off. Now what I really want to start doing is I want to dive into some things. I want us to know the history behind things, and I just, that's what I want. So, of all the history that I just gave y'all in What You Know Good, the people named above, they did great things for the world. We have MLK, we have Ida B. Wells, there's Maya Angelou, there's Emmett Till and Mamie Till, there's Homer Plessy, right? And these people didn't receive their accolades while they were alive.
Like most people.
And I think that they didn't get these accolades while they were alive because they were still superior. Like, people people say we're inferior. We're not the superior race. We are the superior.
Absolutely.
Because why do you keep hiding me under the rug? You keep sweeping me. You keep sweeping me under the rug, and it's like, how come? And so they all called out injustices. So you think about Martin Luther King, and you think about his fight for voting rights, him marching, him in the sanitation, equality, not just and here's the thing, from watching Project Daddy's work, he wasn't just for equality among black, like everybody. He wanted every poor person to win. He wasn't for the rich. And we walk around and we think, oh, Malcolm X had a lot of money, or these men ain't have a lot of money.
No, they didn't. They had a lot of influence.
They ain't have a lot of money. They put their life on the line for us, you know. So you have to think like that. And then you look at Ida B. Wells. She was a journalist. She was a brilliant writer. But what made her super brilliant was she started calling out these lynchings. She would write in newspapers. She would put these in a newspaper. There was a lynching here. There was a lynching there. She's telling people what's happening. And that takes a lot of courage, because it's easy to sit back and not say anything and not put yourself on the forefront and some white men looking at you. That woman over, you know, that's courage. We look at Emmett Till. He was a boy when he died. So he didn't really know how impactful he would be in life. He had to die for people to see the impact, right? And then it took for his mama, who was not this vocal woman, to come out and courage again to stand up and voice the bullshit that they spewed against her child. And then she also had a message
right on time,
where she left his casket open during the funeral to see how brutally beaten he was. And you don't take that lightly, because a lot of people told her, you know, close the casket. Yeah. People don't want to see that.
Because he was brutally beaten.
To be 14 years old, because mind you, growing up, I always thought he was an old man. No lie. I didn't know he was a kid. I always thought, dang, you know, just an old man. 14. And
the way the story is talked about, right, you would assume he was a grown man, the way that they did him.
Right.
But yet and still he was a child.
And when you start learning the history, that's what I'm saying. I'm learning. I'm reading to understand. Y'all, I used to read to just read. Right now I'm reading to understand and seeing that, oh, he had a stuttering problem. Oh, his mama said in order to help him, whistle.
Yeah.
So this man, I digress, right? So you start learning things. Then you think about Homer Plessy. He could have passed as a white man, but he was black. So he violated Louisiana's Separate Car Act of 1890. That means, like Rosa Parks did, she sat her butt on that bus and didn't get up. She sat this is what he did. So in 1890, Rosa Parks did it in 1955. Let's
do the math.
And he was arrested in 1892. And then his case went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court was like, no, you're guilty. And he kind of fought, right? But Louisiana's like, no. Being separate is equal. Don't know how that makes sense.
I have no idea how that even makes sense.
He fought, and so if you listen to what I had said, and you know, what you know good, like how, like, so now he gets pardoned. Now it's okay. So anyway, I went into that little bit, but my question is, for the conversation to continue, is, should we acknowledge these accolades that are coming to these people now?
Should we?
We
should have been acknowledging.
Get that Ida B. Wells dog.
Shout out to Ida B. Wells dog. But yeah, I think it's important that we acknowledge people while they're here, because once they're gone, I mean, the rest of the world can acknowledge it, but all the work that person put in, it's like it kind of goes unseen while they're alive.
Yeah.
And it's not, it would be a lot more impactful if we actually acknowledge these people while they were here, while they were doing the work. That may have encouraged them to do more work, or it may have encouraged others to not attack these people.
Right. Or if justice like could have been served. Like for example, with Homer Plessy versus Ferguson. When I read the article, it was like, well, both families were there, you know, and it was like,
yeah. When you have, I feel like when you have people acknowledging you, standing up for you, things like that, then it kind of strays away those people who want to do harm to you, because it's almost like you have protection in a sense, because all of these people, they were doing amazing things, but no one was like, keep doing what you're doing. So it's like they were out there on their own. Even though they had a lot of people working with them, it's like when you're the face of something and you're the only thing that people see, and there's nothing behind the scenes that people are looking at as encouragement, it's like, hey, let's get at this person. If we knock this person off, then we knock the head off, then everything, the body's gonna fall. But that's not the case, especially in all of these people. So that's how I feel about the situation.
I want to touch on the accolade that they're trying to give the quarter to Miss Maya Angelou.
Explain that a little bit. What do you mean by the quarter?
They're gonna put her face on the quarter.
Oh, the actual quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Who's on the quarter now?
You know they make new quarters, and
then okay, it's gonna be like a collector's edition.
You know they might.
It's not gonna be nothing permanent.
Yeah, because you know how they do. They like do a cave, or they do like Mount Rushmore, or they do they put something on. But so with that, is that an accolade? Like, because I know, and it's like. I'm being hypocritical because I'm saying I want that doll, right? It's a doll, like, you get what I'm saying?
This is true.
And it's like I'm looking at a quarter, like, but y'all said y'all was gonna put Harriet on that $20
long time ago, and that never popped off.
So I'm like looking like, do they make a difference? Does doing all these things now make a difference? Because if you look at when Martin Luther King Day came about, that was Coretta Scott King coming and saying, I want this for my husband.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pause there for a minute, because why isn't there Malcolm X Day? Like, I'm not starting any controversy or anything like that. They were two different, separate people, but it came to this from reading. Betty saw that Coretta had so much courage in, putting Malcolm out there and fighting the government to say, hey, my husband deserved this, right? And so we look at it and we say, okay, well, does Martin Luther King Day make a difference? Let me be honest with you. I love that he has a day, right? I love it. But it does not make a difference, because what are you going out into the community to do, right? We volunteer, right? Other people are going to put a damn quote in their stories, on their page,
and that's the end of it.
And that's it. We're not going to hear anything else about Martin Luther King until January the 3rd, Monday of 2023. We're not going to hear anything else about it. Yeah. What are we doing? I saw something that said, whatever quote you post of Martin Luther King, make sure you live in that next 360, days.
Yeah.
And it was like, the acknowledgement is cool, but what are we doing to further that? Because it's still, they were talking about equality. There is still separate but equal. We
are still unequal.
His dream is not fulfilled. Real. No. If we want to be real.
Yeah.
If you really, and I'm not attacking anybody or nothing like that. It's just, look at the facts of what's happening in this world. It's cool to acknowledge a black person. It's cool to give a black person their flowers. It's cool. But it comes at an expense of, you got to fight to get something.
Yeah. And I feel like these days, like Martin Luther King Day, Only thing I feel like it does is keep the history going, so the younger kids will have an understanding of who the person
or
was.
to say, what is your dream? But he was more than that. Like,
he was more than just that speech. And that's what everybody knows him for, like, is that one speech.
How do you want to bring the race together? You have what? I don't know what they don't have school on Monday, but I don't know if they talk about it in school. I know that I started last week with the girls, and they had to write 2 facts that they knew about Martin Luther King Jr.
Without reading
it. Then they had to go to a book and give me a fact about him. Then they had to write their opinion on what they felt about him. Like, from what we read or what we saw, what do you feel? Because I remember doing the little projects with them, draw your hands and everybody, and if this and that. It's more than, to me, in my opinion, it's more than. It should be
to everyone.
It's more than, it's more than one day. It's more than one day. It's more than a doll. It's more than a quarter. Like, it's more than being pardoned for something, for sitting in a streetcar, taking it to the Supreme Court, and these high judges saying, nah, fam.
We ain't better rock with you, homie.
Ain't it?
Yeah, man.
But 100 years later, it's okay to say, oh, man, equality.
You know we messed up, man. We got y'all.
We're going to bring our families together, and we're going to stand here. But your family was right. What you talking?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought all those were interesting. And then you look at Emmett Till and Mamie Till, and the show. There is a show, I haven't watched it yet, but about her journey and how she went through, I guess, can't say promoting, but awareness of what's happening in the country. But then you have to look at, like, Trayvon Martin's mama. You have to look at Eric Garner's mama, or you have to look
mamas.
at this. Yeah, and then this is in the 2000s. So why is history repeating itself? All these, and I'm not saying anything is wrong. I'm saying, to go back to the title, better now than never. But history keeps repeating itself.
Absolutely.
History keeps repeating. Government is still saying, F y'all, we gonna give it to you when we want to give it to you. Better now than never. And then we celebrate that day, or the homage or the accolade, and we say, okay, yay, and then we forget about it.
And really what they do is they give you just enough to shut you up. It's like, here, take this. Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah.
So we get these shut up laws and these shut up rules and all of these things. It's really not for our benefit. It's just for us. They like bird feeding us.
Yeah.
So they figure if they give us enough crumbs, we'll be full long enough for them to do what they need to do.
They're gonna fool us like Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, they left and the crumb, like, well, they left it. Yeah, but. Y'all, it's so interesting. And I was, like, just looking at everything, and I was like, dang, so we just honor people, like, when they dead. We don't give them their flowers. Like, last week we talked about Sidney Poitier. Then the week before that we talked about Betty White. And Betty White got her flowers.
Yes, she sure did.
And like I said, I ain't taking.
And I saw a meme on. It wasn't really a meme. It was just. It may be considered a meme. But the lady from 227.
Give her flowers. What's her name?
I can't remember her name, but it was like, give the same energy that y'all gave to Betty White.
Same energy, because she's still.
To Betty Black.
Because she's still Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs. Shout out to Marla Gibbs. Let's start giving her flowers right now, because she was very monumental in black entertainment. 227. That was my show. Shout out to the daddy on there. He looked like my grandpa.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He looked just like my grandpa.
She was a producer on that show.
Absolutely.
She wrote on that show.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of that was like the ideas, and we don't think about like what people went into. You know, I'm a Maya Angelou fan.
And just imagine how hard it was to be a director or a
right.
producer back then.
At that time, you're still looking at people like Regina King right now. Well, you know, I had to do this to come up and to come into it. You have Ryan Coogler. I mean,
so if it was harder in this decade, just imagine how much harder it was back in their times.
Like, Jesus.
So that's monumental. So we need to start acknowledging these people today, right now.
Right now.
Don't wait for Harry Belafonte to die before we ride for that man. That boy been riding for us for his whole life. His whole life. He may not be dark skinned, but he's still a black man.
He's a black man.
Yes, he is.
He is a black
man. He is a black man nonetheless. So, yeah. Right. Let's start acknowledging folks for the work that they're doing now and not waiting until it's too late. Well, it's never too late, but
they can't, I guess they are reaping the fruits of their labor, but I think if somebody just really said, okay, because you know how, what's his name? Norman Lear, white guy. Mm-hmm. What did he do? Good Times, All in the Family.
Yeah.
Every year, they're redoing his work, giving him his flowers. Mm-hmm. When we gonna redo some people, you know, who's gonna redo?
Even people who aren't as old who've done monumental things, like Robert Townsend.
Oh my gosh.
Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Whoa.
The whole Wayans family.
Whoa.
It's like these people set it up for us to thrive in the entertainment industry. So we need to shout these people out. We need to let these people know that we see you and we appreciate what you're doing.
What you're doing for the culture, for the community.
And I'm gonna say one that's controversial, but he still is monumental in entertainment. Mr. Bill Cosby.
I get it, because you're saying, despite what he did in his personal life, he came on camera and did something pivotal to the community.
Absolutely.
Some of his words might have not been,
some of his actions may not have been
but he
agreeable.
Came in and he did change this, even though it's a show, the perspective of a black family. There can be two working parents and parents still being there. Two successful,
blue collar,
successful, a lawyer and a doctor. He was an OBG. And to do that, so he did. He came in and he paved the way. You cannot take that away.
Even Fat Albert.
Yeah. Hey. You have to look at the cartoons. So you can not take away.
You don't have to agree with their personal lives, but the work that they put in their business life is undeniable. So sometimes we have to separate.
That's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, it is.
Because you have to make a choice. Because there's some people right now who I'm looking at like, you got some good work, but guess what? I'm not fooling with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fooling with you at all. Yeah. Although their work is brilliant. Mm-hmm. I've made a choice to be like, nah. And so, if people have that choice about Bill Cosby, then that's just what it is. That's what it is. Although he did do some great work.
Yeah. He also did some messed up things.
Some people might look at him and say that, look at his face, and it's so I get it. But I guess does it make a difference, and is it a win? I guess those are kind of the same thing. Yeah. Is this the win for the black community? I think it's like 50-50.
Yeah. I think we could always do more.
Yeah.
Be involved more. Just do more.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that. So I see it like you see it, like half. It's 50-50. It could be seen as a win. It could be seen as a loss, because we're still dealing with the same things that they were dealing with.
Like, so what are we going to do to change?
Where is our modern day Malcolm X's, our modern day Martin Luther King's, our modern day all of these people? We need people to stand up right now
Who is
and
advocating for
continue
us?
the work that was being done back then.
Who is advocating for us and who is really speaking the truth. And I don't know, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Really
who-
out here in the community doing things. Shout out to my boy KT. That boy out here in this community.
Hey.
That boy KT, he out here in this community. He is an administrator at a elementary school, and he is out here trying to figure out how to get these kids on the right track. So shout out to my boy KT. KT TV, check him out. He got some very powerful messages in his YouTube podcast and all the things he has going on. So shout out to my boy KT.
So yeah, I just want to know, y'all, is it better now than never? Would it matter if it didn't happen? Would we throw a fit if we saw that people were not being acknowledged the way that they should be acknowledged? Like I said, I'm excited about that Barbie doll. And if I come across that Maya Angelou quarter, I am definitely going to put it up. I would never spend it. I know
if it comes about.
I know I talk about no, it's coming. Like different opinions and everything. And this is next week's episode. Damn. But I want to support because it's like I see black and then I have two black little girls.
Absolutely.
And I need them to see the face of,
people who look like
people
them.
who look like them.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Ida B. Wells.
Who have done great things
This
so
is
they
Martin
can
Luther
know.
King. This is Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
This is Emmett Till. Before he was, this is his mama, and this is what his mama did for him. This is Homer Plessy, and he was fighting. He took it to the Supreme Court. How many people,
take it to the highs
for justice. So, y'all, is it better now than never? What do you think? What do you feel about these people? Are these accolades good for the community, for the black community? What y'all think?
Let us know. Join the conversation. Y'all know how
yep.
we do. Yes, indeed.
Did we make a valid point?
At all. I believe we did. But, hey, what's your opinion?
We really want to know.
We really, really, really want to know.
Give us some feedback.
Please do. But, yeah, we have come to the end of this conversation for today. So we're going to go ahead and get into, y'all already know, before we get up out of here, y'all know we got to bust them in the head one time, on this day in Black history. So today is January 17th, and on this day in 1996, Barbara Jordan passed away from complications of pneumonia. Jordan was from 5th Ward, Texas. Shout out to how you?
I don't know. I'm not from.
Yeah.
What it
Shout out to 5th Ward, Texas. She attended Wheatley High School and Texas Southern University, where she majored.
Okay.
Yeah, where she majored in political science and history. Jordan also attended Boston University School of Law and started a private law practice in Houston, Texas. Shout out to the H. In 1966, Miss Jordan won a seat in the Texas Senate, making her the first black woman to do so. So, shout out to Barbara Jordan, an H-time OG, out here doing it real big for the city. Yes, indeed. And that was on this day in Black history. Yes, indeed. One more time, shout out to Miss Barbara Jordan. She is very monumental in the H-time scene. So, yeah. And you got anything else for him, baby?
I do. So, y'all, I know that on this day in Black history is supposed to be the last thing, but I have something special. So before we go, I want to tell y'all about a company. The girls and I made a pact to purchase a product from a black-owned business every month. And guess what? We've already made our purchase. So the first purchase was from Ancient Baby brand. And we purchased some coloring sheets. It was Angela Davis, Martin Luther King Jr., and Malcolm X. and I can't remember the other one, but we got those coloring sheets. Ancient Baby Brand offers books, financial literacy, coffee, grooming care, apparel, and scholarships. Right now, they have scholarships that are live. So once I give you their website, you can go check that out.
Absolutely. And it will be right here on the screen, right there.
Yeah.
Right there. It's going to be right there.
Yeah. No. So if you're interested in 10% off of your purchase, you can use the code Camille85526 and get you some goodies from a Black-owned business today. And you can go to ancientbabybrand.com and get those. Again, the code is Camille, CAMILLE 85526 and get 10% off of your purchase today.
Oh, say, they need to pay you just for advertising for
Absolutely.
This. You did that.
Put me on the payroll.
Goodness. We need to be in there. Swim well. All right. Well, once again, thank you to everyone who continues to show us love. We're going to continue to show the love back. Make sure you check us out on all podcast streaming platforms. We are on YouTube. We are on Anchor. We are on Spotify. So just go ahead and check us out. We have some amazing topics, some amazing conversations from yours truly, the Stocker family. We in here. So we'll see y'all next week with a brand new topic. And y'all continue to stay blessed. Have a blessed week. Blessed Sunday. Monday. Have a blessed everything.
Martin Luther King Day, sir. Y'all have a good one. I hope if you're resting, if you're volunteering, if you're watching all the good things on TV today that's with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And play Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday, because y'all know he wrote that song for him, right? So
shout out to
y'all have a great one. Shout out
all right,
to who?
We'll see y'all later. All right, bye.
Bye.